Harwich Financial Services. Your local financial planners help you achieve your goals by making smarter decisions with your money. With our head office based in Hungerford, we cover the south east and west of England with a truly bespoke local service. Our team of advisors support and guide you through some of your most important life events with expert advice on pensions, investments, mortgages and insurance. As your aspirations evolve, so should your financial plan. Our team will be on hand to review this with you on a regular basis. For sound professional advice, give us a call on 01488 649 141 or find us at hfsltd.net. Harwich Financial Services. We'll put your mind at ease.
Do you have a question or a comment for my guest this evening? Then why not text 07900 171 453, or if you're listening via the Swindon 105.5 app or website, just click on the Contact Us button and that will email me directly here in the studio.
Child are free, born in 31, a faithful brother to dear John. Look at your wonderful life, look at your beautiful wife, look at the family you raised. We're all here for you today. You're my hero, you're my role model, you're my granddad, head of the family, king of the jungle. Raising his family must have been a handful. Head of the table with cricket on TV. You don't realize how much you mean to me. I said, you lost your mum at the age of 3. That couldn't have been easy. Build an empire of sticks and stones, but always had the place to call a home. You're my hero, you're my role model, you're my granddad, head of the family and king of the jungle. Raising his family must have been a handful. Head of the table with cricket on TV. You don't realize how much you mean to me. I said, head of the family and king of the jungle. Raising his family must have been a handful. Head of the table with cricket on TV. You don't realize how much you mean to me. You're my hero, you're my role model, you're my granddad, you're my granddad.
Hello and good evening and welcome to Don't Stop the Music radio show. My name is Peggy-Sue and I am your host. Now the song you just heard there is from my guest this evening, and my guest is Julien Biddulph, or should I say Julien. Hello, how are you?
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
You're more than welcome. Now, tell me about that song there, because that song's called Head of the Family.
Yep.
And obviously, by the end there, you can hear it saying, you are my granddad.
Yep.
So I take it it's about your granddad.
Yes, so there's a bit of a meaning obviously behind the song, but in 2016 my grandparents were celebrating their diamond anniversary, and so they asked myself and my friend to perform some music. So I thought I'd be a bit different. Instead of just doing covers, I'd write 5 original songs, and that was one of them. And in 2019, when my granddad sadly passed away, I thought I would record it properly with a whole band and release it as a little tribute, obviously.
Oh, how lovely.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, that's quite sweet. Now, I was going to say, you normally do, because I notice on Facebook you have two. There's the solo and then the band.
Yeah.
So, as you just said there, you recorded this song with the band as well.
Yeah.
So, is most of the music you write for your solo and then you record with the band if some of it needs it?
Yeah, so basically all the music is written by myself and my friend who records it all with me. So anything I can't play on guitar, he helps out with that. And then when it comes to gigging and stuff, I use the band to play it. And there's been a couple of songs that they've helped me write and we've recorded that instead. But yeah, 90% of it is mine, my material. And yeah, the guys, I tell them what to play and they play it and it's great.
Oh, brilliant. So if you have any questions or comments for my guest this evening, you can text in 07900 171 453, or if you're listening via the app or the website, just click on that contact us button and it will email me directly here in the studio, and I have it up ready. So as soon as one comes in, I can let Julien know.
Keep it PG.
Yes, please keep it. We are a family-friendly show. You can imply, but please just keep it friendly.
I'll do my best to subtly answer.
So, where did your musical influences come from? Where did it all start?
So it's really hard to answer that one because my first few memories, as I said off the air, my dad's like the world's biggest Beatles fan. So I grew up all my life listening to the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, all that lot. But then my first real memory is Busted, really, as cliche as it is, listening to Busted, pretending I had an air guitar, and then slowly my little brain got turned to Blink-182 and Green Day, the punk rock sort of vibe and era, and that's ever since then I've never looked back. And my Spotify playlist is pretty regular with the same bands I listen to. But yeah, I'd say that started off really just listening to what my dad listened to and just inspired me, really.
Now, I'm going to say I have actually seen Busted live.
Yeah, same.
I saw them in 2002 at the Formula One Awards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would have been just before they split? I think. Yeah.
So they performed there, and Cheeky Girls were also performing, so it's quite funny, actually.
That's a throwback.
And then Mike and the Mechanics, so with Damon Hill on guitar, so it was really good. It was nice and different people singing and stuff. Yeah,
that's a lineup you wouldn't think of.
No, and so it was because I went there just go and watch the awards, and then suddenly you had all these bands come in and these musicians. You're like, oh, okay.
It's not bad while I'm here, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, carry on.
Nice. But actually, because they've obviously just announced they're doing another reunion tour, and my partner and I are going to go see them again in October.
Oh, nice.
But if anyone asks, I'm purely going for her, not for me.
Of course. But then they did also do Muck Busted, didn't they, with McFly?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So that's the thing, because we saw them also in 2018. So I keep saying to my partner, I keep going, has everyone forgotten they got back together a few years ago? And she's like, just
sweep
it.
Just sweep it under the carpet. Just go.
Exactly that.
Now, by looks of it, we already have one comment come in.
Oh, here we go.
So, hello, Marie. Thank you for messaging in.
Marie.
And Marie says, I love the lyrics in your songs. They are so meaningful. I can't wait to see you at the Fleece in Bristol.
Wow, thank you, Mother Marie. She's not actually my mum, just in case my mum is actually listening. I love you, mum. But no, thank you very much, Marie. Appreciate that.
So you have a gig at the Fleece in Bristol.
Yeah, 7th of May. I believe that's the coronation weekend as well.
It is.
So everyone should be free. Come on down, have a drink, and watch some bands play, including obviously my band. And yeah, should be a good weekend, hopefully.
Nice.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, definitely fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, because I should be coming back from holiday that day as well.
Oh, nice. Good time to come back.
Exactly. So the next one we're going to play is called Men. No, it's not. It's Lost in Translation, sorry. So that's the next one we're playing. Men and Can Cry is the one after that. Nice. So Lost in Translation. So tell me a bit about this one.
So it's another meaningful song, as much as I can say, in the sense that, as I said before, my mum is French, and so all her family are still in France, and there's always been a bit of translation issues from my end and theirs, and it's gone slightly worse over the years because my nan on that side suffers with Alzheimer's dementia, and as everyone knows, it's a horrible disease.
It's a very horrible disease. My grandpa passed away from it last weekend. So not this weekend, but last weekend.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear
No,
that.
that's fine. So,
well,
so I know exactly what you mean.
It hurts, and it's not just obviously them, it's all those around. And obviously, I think the worst part, if there is a worst part, is the fact that they don't know any different.
No.
So, but yes, I wrote about them because obviously, bless her, she doesn't know what's going on, and my granddad on that side is obviously. But yeah, sorry to
no.
get in the mood.
Here it is. So this is Lost in Translation.
Lifetime of memories, now just photos in a frame. It breaks my heart to see a one-tied family hold on to the thin line of some normality. A perfect husband, and now just a stranger. Lost in translation. How can life go so quick, yet leave you wanting more? Walking down the aisle with the woman you adore. Paint a perfect marriage with no troubles inside. A silent killer, tearing down all that you've built. A perfect wife, and now just a stranger. Lost in translation. I'm so far away, yet I can feel you both, always in my heart, as I hold you close. As the day comes to an end, her mind's on a delay. The silent killer, ripping down all that we've laid. A perfect couple, now just strangers to each other. Lost in translation.
So that one was Lost in Translation, and we've had another message come through. So if you do have a comment or a question for my guest this evening, you can text 07900 171453, or if you're listening via the app or website, you can click on the Contact Us button and it will email me directly here in the studio, just like James Grist this evening. So thank you, James. And James is saying, loving the interview, great to hear from a local artist.
Thank you very much, boss man. Hope this isn't your way of trying to ask me to cover one of your shifts, though. No, but thank you for that. Appreciate that.
So, what type of work do you do?
I work in Screwfix.
Oh, okay,
as
yes.
an assistant manager, so I get to...
I've used Screwfix many a time.
Oh, good. Good service? Good service?
No, not good service.
But which Screwfix do you use? I suppose local. Wait.
Oh, no, I thought you meant like big goods as in big goods.
Sorry.
No,
No, that's right.
I've always had really good service. I always reserve and go and get it.
Yeah,
so
right.
there's a couple I use. There's one in the Elgin Industrial Estate.
Yeah.
And there's one. Which one's that? That's over by Subway Stratton, so the IO Centre.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you ever find yourself coming to good old Devizes, you will be greeted by myself and Mr. James Grisson there.
Oh, my father-in-law lives in Devizes.
Oh, right. Well, I love that we're plugging away screen.
I know, there you go. We're plug away.
Get some commission for that.
Oh, brilliant. So with these songs, obviously, are these all, because we've got 6 songs this evening and we played 2, are they all from the same album? Because you've got 2 albums, haven't you?
Yes. So Lost in Translation and Head of the Family that we've already played were on my album I released last year called Vita Post Mortem, which is Life After Death in Latin.
Yep.
I thought I'd have to go very out there. But I think from the songs I've sent, they are all bar 2. One of them is an old one I released on an EP when I first decided to release my own music as a solo artist, and one is one I released last year for a special occasion and may or may not feature on upcoming album 3. Who knows? Watch this space.
Now I know what that song is, but you'll have to just listen now, people. You're going to have to just stay tuned.
What way to keep them hooked, isn't it?
Exactly. So you have a 3rd album planned.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I'm looking forward to it because sort of like people who know me will say I'm quite an upbeat sort of person, but my music may not reflect it because my first album I wrote was dealing with the end of a relationship. My second album, which was released 5 years later, never planned to be that long, but a little thing called coronavirus happened. But I released that, and that was mostly about obviously dealing with grief after losing my granddad. Whereas this one, it's quite upbeat, if I say so myself, you know, so fingers crossed.
But then it's all to do with experience and what you experience.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to always do songs that evolve around their own, what they're feeling at the time, their emotions, and what they're going through in life.
Yeah, because funny you say that, because so originally the album I was going to release after my first one was sort of like an upbeaty album, but then when obviously my granddad passed, I turned to my friend who helped record the album, my music, I said, I can't release what we've done because it doesn't feel genuine. It won't feel, people will know what I'm going through, and if I'm suddenly releasing, I'm a happy-go-lucky chappy, it won't feel sincere. And that's one thing I want to always convey with my music, that it comes from the heart. I don't ever intend to write a song just to fill a gap, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. No. And I was going to say, just look at big artists as well. So look at Adele with her albums. She's getting married, breaking up, growing up.
It tells a story.
It all tells a story.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly that. So you spoke about the big C there with the coronavirus. How did you find that through that process? When that happened, did you find that you managed to write any music, or did you manage to maybe go live? Because I know some artists went live on on the social platforms. Or did you find that was a really hard time that you couldn't actually do anything?
I think literally everything you just said was pretty much what I went through, really, because I think when obviously it all happened, no one sort of really knew how long it would take. So I'm pretty sure, I think it was end of March, all stuck indoors. I was still going to work, etc. But I was like, no one can go out and do stuff. So I thought I would release a music video because obviously we were starting to record this album. I had a couple of songs already done. So I was like, I'll take one of the songs, make a music video for it, and like an isolation style video. So I just spoke to a lot of friends and people I knew that sending me video clips of what you're doing to pass the time, and people there throwing tea bags over their heads to get into a car. People are dressing up and playing a rock band and stuff like that. And I thought, just put it into a music video just to show everyone, you know, we'll keep spirits high and morale high when it's needed. And then months ticked on by, and I'm thinking, we're in this a little bit longer than I anticipated, which meant obviously I couldn't get out there and record because I don't use the studio, I use my friend's house. So it's a case of, wait until his family feels comfortable, I feel comfortable, my friend feels comfortable. So that was quite limited. But then I would find myself being able to sit there and go, I've written all these songs now. But then also looking at another song and being like, why am I really struggling for lyrics? And then knowing if I'm struggling, move on from that, go from that. So yeah, I'd say I struggled, but at the same time, I got a lot out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You grew as a musician.
Yeah, I'd say so. And again, I think it was a tough time for everyone. So just knowing that we were all in this together sort of made it a little better, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah, it does. And then going from there to the type of gigs you do, do you do what I call the dark and dingy pubs? Which so this is my own opinion. Please don't shoot me. So I would call the Vic the dark and dingy because it's down. You go down the steps. It's dark down there. Same as level 3. It's down the stairs and it's dark. So they are what I call the dark and dingy. But they're very intimate as well because you do get a really good crowd in there, and they've got a good acoustics. Or do you prefer have you played like the festivals or the big parks and where it has that festival feeling?
Not so much festivals. I remember a few years ago I did a gig in Monkton Park in Chippenham. It was like this outside festival for a charity. I can't remember what the name was now. That sounds really bad, but it was for a good cause. I know that, so that kind of felt a bit like a festival. But no, a lot of my gigs have been the classic. There's been some obviously pub gigs. There's been some venues that specialise in gigs. So like St James Wine Vault is in Bath.
Yeah,
that's I've played there a few times and I love it because it's cramped, it's sweaty, and as horrible as that sounds, you love it because it feels like a proper gig.
Yeah.
But it has its pros and cons because I did one just a few weeks ago now at the Village Pump in Trowbridge.
Okay.
And that was awesome. That was my first time performing since 2019. Obviously, because of coronavirus, and last year I think I got a bit like, I can't bother to perform. But then I finally just kicked myself into gear, and that was a great show to come back to. But we've also, my band and I have done a gig before where we were booked, they knew we were a punk rock band, etc. We turned up and it was a bit awkward, people there sitting eating their Sunday roast, and we're like, this is a bit awkward. And then after the first song we got told, you need to turn down. It's a bit like, okay, well, you've booked a punk rock band and now you're asking us to turn down. I know the true punk rock behaviour would have been to then smash up our instruments and stuff, but we're not made of money, so that was just angry stares instead. But I'd say I've done a bit of everything really, and I love it. Sometimes I love doing that, but then sometimes I love just being with my acoustic because I can hear myself a bit more and it's a softer sound really.
Well, we've had another question. We actually had a question come in. So this is from Joe Gibbons. Hello, Joe. And Joe says, are there any plans for upcoming music videos?
Yes. I was about to say yes and no, but it's a yes. So currently obviously working through my next album. I think I've agreed to do 12 to 13 songs. And as of yesterday, we've recorded 8, potentially 9. Of them, and I'm already looking through and picking out which ones I would probably make a video for, and there's probably at least 4 or 5 I've got good ideas, but it's just finding the time and getting people, because when you're adults and you all have jobs, trying to find someone to be able to be free to direct, get a few friends to be free to be acting in it. But watch this space. I definitely will plan to release some more music videos, hopefully in the summer, for sure.
Oh, there you go, Joe. So you need to keep an eye out.
Also, Joe, if you want to act in one, let me know when you're free.
Oh, there you go, Joe. You've got an offer there.
An offer you can't refuse.
Yeah. So the next song we're going to play is called Men Can Cry. So tell me the story behind this one.
Yeah, so another one which is probably going to dampen the mood like I do best. But this was one originally the music I had recorded before. I scrapped the original album, but I never had lyrics for it. And then it was just one of those that unfortunately someone I knew who I used to work with was a young lad took their life. We obviously don't know the inside and outs really, but it seemed like he had so much going for him, and it really made me open my eyes and think, you hear about all the time, people just don't feel comfortable enough to open up, talk about how they feel. So I sort of just felt inspired, as bad as that sounds, but just to share a message that, it's okay to not be okay. Mental health, it's not a joke anymore, not that it was, but
it became a lot more prominent, especially with coronavirus as well. It showed a lot of people that did suffer with, and in fact, those who were trapped in their homes because of coronavirus made them trapped in their homes.
Exactly, yeah, and I just wanted to be able to show that, again, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And so this was another one I released a music video for. Funnily enough, when I actually finally caught COVID. Avoided it for a year and a half, started my new job, got it a day later.
Oh,
so
no.
Thanks, devisers. But yeah, Men Can Cry.
Well, here is Men Can Cry.
Music Memories with Ian Rowe and Alan Thompson.
Blue Turns to Grey from Cliff Richard, going back to 1966, written, as Ian says, by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards.
Mixing music with memories every week.
Somebody might have an acetate pressing somewhere where they did do it as a demo or something, but to the best of my knowledge, they didn't.
On Swindon, 105.5. Tuesdays from 1 p.m.
Do you have a question or a comment for my guest this evening? Then why not text 07900 171 453, or if you're listening via the Swindon 105.5 app or website, just click on the Contact Us button and that will email me directly here in the studio. Just like Chloe has. Hello Chloe, thank you for messaging in. And Chloe has says, fair play for doing songs with such awareness.
Thank you very much, Chloe. That's the first question from someone I don't know, so thank you.
Chloe is actually a regular listener to the show, so she messages in quite often, yeah.
Oh, awesome.
So that's really good. So yeah, she says fair play for doing the songs. So yeah, it is fair play because there are so many things that go on in life, and not everybody will do a song about the mental health, the awareness. Like I said, sadly it was a friend that took their life.
Yeah.
So it's something that doesn't always get mentioned, and it can be hard.
I think it's the same, some people feel like they can talk about their feelings, some people feel like they can write in journals or diaries or books, and then other people I express myself more in my lyrics, and I think that shows. Sometimes I've had feedback where people go, oh damn, I didn't know that's how you felt and all that, and it's how I feel comfortable. If someone sat down and spoke to me and I was to explain what I was feeling, but then sit me with a guitar for
And
whatever
it'll come
reason, my
out.
brain feels more comfortable to talk about it.
Yeah. But you're right there, because there are people who do art as their therapy.
Yeah.
There's people who would do, I don't know, they go out for a walk and as their own therapy. That's me. And
You've got a dog.
especially if you've got a dog. And then there's people like yourself who would do it through music. So yeah, it's just
And I think
ideal.
that's the wonderful part. Like you said, everyone has different ways of dealing with everything. And
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong. Whatever works for people works, isn't it, really?
It does. Now, we've just actually had a text in.
Oh.
Hey. And this is from Alex. Hello, Alex. And Alex says, what song would you say was the most difficult for you to write? Very good question, Alex.
Ooh, way to put me on a spot. Difficult to write. Oh, that's a tough one because, there's a lot of songs which I sit and think, okay, that was easy to write because sometimes it's like word vomit, just keeps coming. And then there's some songs which feel like they take ages to write because you're maybe sitting there going, oh, I got the perfect line, but I don't know what to rhyme it with. And you don't want to just sound silly where you're just rhyming something like table and fable,
Yeah.
But toughest song to write, I'd probably say there's a song on Vita Postmortem, my most recent album, called Always in My Heart, and I think that's probably the most difficult one to write and sing because I wrote it pretty much day or two after my granddad had passed. So I think at that time everything was so raw. Yeah. And it's one of those, I wrote it, sort of left it, and then when it came to doing the album, I was like, I do want it because, that is as from the heart as it's going to get. So, probably that as the most difficult, I'd say.
Oh, well, thank you, Alex. That was a very good question.
I'll probably get home later and go, well, actually, that one was a more high.
That's always the way.
Exactly. Just like when you've had an argument with someone, 2 hours later, you think, oh, I should have said that. Yeah.
Oh, I should have done that.
Yeah. All these different scenarios play out and you go, oh, I could have won that if I said.
Exactly. But then, no, that's my other show. I was going to say, then that could be where you turn left instead of turn right and stuff like that. So, yeah, alternative timelines. Exactly. But there you go.
And I am a strong believer in everything happens for a reason, which, like you said, turn left, that something can happen on the right-hand side.
Exactly, yeah. Intuition and so it happens for a reason. Exactly.
100%.
Because you need to get you in my other show then.
Hey, if I'm not working, I'm always free. I don't know if that's good or bad, but
Shouldn't you be doing your videos?
Other than doing videos and at work, I'm always free.
There you go, you see. Now, some of these songs, as you said, they have got that Blink-182 and Busted vibe to them. I can really see some of these being put into at least a TV series or something, because when you listen, when you have things playing in the background of a show, it's usually that makes people think. So when they say they hear this song on the radio, they would go, oh, I've seen that. That was happened in that. And that was what was happening in that show at that time.
Subliminally.
Subliminally, yeah. They don't always, because I am one of those ones, I used to watch Hollyoaks years ago, and they had the SU bar and everything. And they used to have a lot of music playing in the background. And it would be one of those ones when you hear it on the radio, go, I've heard that somewhere. Well, I've heard it because it was on Hollyoaks. And there are sometimes you hear those songs and you go, that one's going to go far. And I've had that a few times with support acts as well, when you've gone to watch other bands. So in my case, I went to see Example at Mecca in Swindon.
Oh, yeah.
And he had Ed Sheeran as his support. But it was before he became famous.
That's nuts, isn't it, when you think Ed Sheeran was a support act,
And how close you're sat next to me now is literally how close I was to Ed Sheeran.
That's a claim to fame.
It is, isn't it?
That's mental. But again, everyone starts somewhere, don't they?
Exactly. Everybody starts somewhere. In fact, to be fair, when you go to certain artists and that, they do know their roots and they are very good. So don't lose your roots. Always make sure you always say hello to your fans. Oh. Be nice to them.
Always,
So you've got all these people messaging in.
That's the thing. I think, obviously, I've not been in that situation. No. I don't know if I would be, but I always do look at it when you see celebrities or film stars and musicians, like you said, where they would be nowhere without the fans that support them. So
exactly.
Again, like you said, take a minute or two. So I listened to a podcast called the Happy Hour podcast, and I went and saw them live because they did a live tour, and they could have easily just, cool, thanks for coming and then gone. But personally went out to every single. I think they were there for at least hour, 2 hours every night, going out taking pictures with the fans and stuff. And honestly,
Excellent.
I think that, I guess it's an hour for them, but that will make a lifetime for some of these people.
It does, and so when I heard, because when I went and saw Ed, when he was actually supporting, the fans in the crowd were just talking over him. He was playing really well, and I was like, he's going to go far. He's going to go really far.
Those ones are probably, we're not here to see you, so and it's horrible,
And then 2 months later, he's on the radio, and we're like, oh my god, that's that chap.
And
so
you could have, exactly.
Yeah,
they're lost.
It is their loss, because now you pay thousands. No, you don't pay thousands, but you do pay quite a bit to go and see them, because they're doing the big tours.
Exactly, yeah.
So seeing them in the local places is quite good.
It's just like you say, as cliche as it is, when you think back to the Beatles back in the day, the Cavern days, there'd have been people probably there just sitting there going, oh, who's this band?
Yeah.
Biggest rock and roll band there ever was, So if my dad's listening, there you go, there's your Beatles plug-in. But I think, like you said, just always be faithful and loyal to your supporters.
Fans, because they are the ones that's going to carry you further.
And I would never
and spread the word.
Exactly, I would never try and pretend that I've got the world's biggest fan base, etc., and all that. So, any time I get a like from a Facebook post or Instagram, or they pay for my album, they stream my music, they come to a live show, honestly, I don't forget about it, and I genuinely do mean it. So thank you, and keep it coming.
Now the next song I am going to play is I Tried.
Yeah, cool.
So tell me a bit the story behind this one.
So this one is a song I wrote. So basically, just that gig I mentioned before, where it was a punk rock band and we were told to turn down. Literally 5 minutes before I was about to perform, a close family friend, relative, one of those sort of things, came up to me and said that they were newly engaged with someone, and it had been literally less than a year since we had buried my. They weren't listening, my godfather. So I was like, oh wow, this okay, fair enough. Do whatever makes you happy. But then from that moment, they just basically gave up with me and stopped. So it was sort of one of those, tried to rebuild a relationship, didn't work. I tried my hardest, but it takes two to make it work. So,
it does.
Yeah, and this is the one that I, during lockdown, made a isolation music video for it.
Well, here is I Tried.
Now
And that was I Tried by my guest this evening, Julien. So that was actually quite good. I quite like that one.
Thank you very much. Like I said, that was the one I released during the start of the pandemic, and I got everyone to join in on a music video, and I think everyone had a bit of a laugh with it because stuck indoors, let's throw tea bags over our heads, let's dress up and all that, let's just have a laugh, you know.
Definitely. Oh, you got to do that though, haven't you?
Exactly. Well, it was the early days, wasn't it? So we was just sort of like, yeah, we'll do
larking
this
around.
fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
we'll just do this for a couple of, do that.
Be fine, you know, sort of event.
And then it lasted longer and longer and longer.
Yeah,
it did. So we know you've got the gig at the Fleece.
Yep.
What other gigs have you got coming up? Where can our listeners come and find you and see you perform?
So obviously, as you've just said, I've got a gig at the Fleece the 7th of May, if anyone is around. 14th of July is then the next one. I'm actually playing in Swindon with another local band called Mirrored Faces. They got in touch and asked if I would like to be a support band, and yeah, absolutely, love any opportunity to play. Believe we're playing at the Castle.
Okay, yeah. I've done a few open mic nights there.
Oh, nice, cool. Looking forward to that one. It's going to be different because everything else I've sort of scouted out, or I've had some sort of control, but this one I've had no control over. You know, it's their gig, they're organising it, that's me to come on, so I'm looking forward to that. And then after that is 2nd of September in good old Devizes, the Southgate Inn.
Yeah, no, Southgate,
Played there before the pandemic, etc., and kept hounding them because I was like, honestly, it was such a great place to play because I like places that encourage original music. Because covers obviously is what gets people up, singing and all that. But I have had a bad experience before. We did a gig before where I was covering Dakota by the Stereophonics, and someone had a bit too much to drink and they were stop ruining the song, and sort of kind of like, I mean, it could have been totally right. You know, you never know how you sound when you're performing, but it kind of was like, yeah, this makes me want to perform an original because you don't know what it's supposed to sound like, so I can... Yeah. But, so I love places that encourage original music, and so finally, after much persistence, the Southgate said, come on down, so 2nd of September. But, I would love to have more gigs. If anyone's listening out there and has any links or connections, please hit us up. But, there's my few. 7th of May at the Fleece, 14th of July at the Castle, Old Town in Swindon, and 2nd of September, Southgate in Devizes.
Nice. Now, you're saying about covers there. Mm-hmm. I will say, covers are your own interpretation of that song. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if you ruin it, and I'm going to put that in inverted commas, because that is your cover.
I personally made a decision to sing off key on purpose, add a bit of alternative to it, you know. But that's what I mean. You've got your covers that are always going to get people up singing. But I've like I said, I'm a punk rock kid. I listen to my Green Day, my Blink, my Sum 41, my Busted, you know. So I'm never going to try and pretend that I'm this singer-songwriter that everything's going to be squeaky clean. Like, it's live music, you know. You take it, just enjoy the atmosphere. That's what it's all about, really. So that's why I love to play my originals, because when I see people vibing off that, I'm like, you're dancing and singing to a song I wrote. That's really cool.
And will you be applying, because I know there's a lot of festivals that now that are going ahead this year that probably already got their books already full. Yeah. Are you going to start applying for next year? Because start thinking about next year, because obviously some of them they do look like a year ahead. So. Yeah,
definitely. So I think like I said at the start, I got a bit, you know, obviously COVID stopped anything happening in 21 and 2020. Last year I got a bit lazy, but this year I was like, I'm going to do it. And I think I missed my shot with some of them. I messaged a few places and they said they had just booked up, but I'll definitely keep my.
Because you've got things like the Sausage and Ale festivals, which also have the music. I go to one called the Mighty Music Festival. I know if you apply for that one for next year now, then you probably get in.
Okay. Any opportunity, I'll do it. You know.
And even Vic Fest, obviously the Vic.
It's just
So maybe
like Mirrored Faces played on it, and that's
So maybe apply for the Vic and see if you can get in, even just for a gig, just get a support act or something.
What I mean, like, you know, I think when I first started doing gigs, I think I was a bit, I don't know, sort of blinded to it in the sense that I would be like, I'll just call this place, book a gig, but it takes a lot of trust for them because they want obviously the audience. So that's why I've sort of taken a step back now. I've been like, any bands out there need a support act, I'll play 5, 10, half an hour, whatever you want. Just
have a look at open mic nights as well. You can also get spotted that way.
Well, I used to do one in Laycock at the George Inn, and that was really cool. I think they picked up again now, but I don't know if it's for the same guy. But that one used to be really good because he used to always make a joke because I'd be there, a punk rock kid with an acoustic guitar going, haven't got my guitarist or drummer with me, so God knows how this sounds. But really, some open mic nights are great, but unfortunately some, like sort of what your Ed Sheeran story was. I remember I did my first gig, I did quotation marks, any listeners out there. My first gig was an open mic in Chippenham, and the people sat right in front of us, were just talking the whole time. Like you couldn't hear yourself. But then I don't blame them at the same time because they come out for a drink. They haven't necessarily come there for music. So, but yeah, anyone out there listening who has connections to your gigs, please hit us up. Would be greatly appreciated.
And we will tell you how to contact him in a moment.
Yes.
So after this song, so the next song we're going to play is Little Town. So tell me a bit about this one.
So Little Town was a song I wrote. So when I obviously picked up my guitar, started playing music, I had bands, etc. I was always the one writing the songs. And then I kind of had enough because I was the only one contributing to the social media, to the gigs, to organising the gigs, writing the music, and never getting, it's 4 people in a band, yet only one person is doing everything. So I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do everything, I might as well create my own music. So I released the first EP, and this was one of the earliest songs for it, and it's just about hometown and being bored because it was at that stage of my life where all my friends had gone off to uni, gone to placements, moved away, and I was stuck, left education in the real world. So yeah.
Okay, well here is Little Town.
She's happened again. My friends have all gone. I don't know where I belong, but I'll make it work. My God, it's a bore. Living here is a chore. I don't know my future goals, but it's not here. This town will be the death of me. No secrets, just regrets. The town of old, this town will fold into the unknown. Maybe I'm out of turn. My life ain't so bad. Just bored of my surroundings, it drives me mad. There's no change in sight. Another day in this light. Maybe I should keep quiet and remain a sheep in the earth. This town will be the death of me. No secrets, just regrets. The town of old, this town will fold into the unknown.
competition.
So obviously we are coming up close to the end of the show now. Can't believe that.
It's gone really fast.
So have you got any shout outs for anyone?
Yeah, so apologies in advance if I forget anyone, but obviously biggest shout out goes to my parents, my biggest fans from day one. My dad's basically like my manager at the same time, and my social media influencers, liking and sharing everything. So massive shout out to my parents. Massive shout out to my fiance Alex, who provided vocals on Lost in Translation, but again, she's probably my biggest rock, because the amount of times she can see me getting frustrated with maybe a post I do or my music, and she's like, just forget about it, dig in, you know. So massive shout out to her. It's hard, but massive shout out to all my friends that support my music, come to my gigs, message me good luck and everything. So I feel like I can't say any names because I feel like I'll miss someone out, but just on the top of my head, Toby, Joe, James, Marie, James, if I didn't already say him, but Josh, Charlie, you know, all these guys have been there from day one, and appreciate all of them. And Rich, if he's listening. But again, if I haven't said your name, I haven't forgotten about you. It's just my brain freezes when I think on the spot.
Yeah, I did kind of throw you off there, didn't I? Putting you on the spot there. So how can our listeners find more about you? Because obviously they know where your gigs are, but where can they find out more about you? Where can they follow you? So they're going to do the stalking bit, the social stalking.
Facebook stalking, all that. So the classics on Instagram, I'm on Julien Solo 1995. Facebook is Julien Biddulph Solo. Spotify, Julien Biddulph Solo. Amazon Music, Tidal, Deezer, all these streaming, so I'm on everything, and YouTube. But yeah, Julien Biddulph Solo.
You on Bandcamp?
Bandcamp, I'm on Bandcamp, yes. Yeah. I have, I did put so Vita Postmortem, Darkest Chapter, my first EP, everything I've done is all on there, and obviously it's essentially for free, but if you ever want to download and support me, that would also be appreciated. But yeah.
Really? Yeah, because I say Bandcamp, you can pay for it, can't you? And
yeah.
Yeah, that's the good thing with Bandcamp.
But I also, so obviously I release all my music digitally because that's the modern way, but I do still like to do CDs. I think it's something a bit more personal with a CD, you know, you can really, it just feels like, I've actually owned this piece of music. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you ever want a CD, come see me. Come see me for a CD.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'll write that into a lyric.
Yeah, that does sound like a lyric, doesn't it? So the last song we're going to play is called 2507, or the 25th of July.
Yep.
So now, please tell us about this song.
So this song's a little bit different in a sense that it's a happy song, but basically my best mate was getting married and asked me if I would write a song for him for the occasion, and I was, can't say no to that. You know, it's an honour to have been asked, and recorded it, wrote it all, obviously, and we played it at their wedding. Myself being a nervous wreck, I was hiding most of it until they literally get here and drag me on the dance floor, and we're dancing along to it, and I love it, and fingers crossed it may appear on my next album.
Ooh, and of course they got married on the 25th of July.
2507, yeah.
Yeah.
But I tried to make it like, you know, all about them, but also incorporate things they've done and chucking a few cheeky lines like inside jokes that are like, nice, you know, just to make it more personal, because that's what I wanted it to be, you know. That's what I
really
want
nice. Yeah,
they like it as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, well, that's amazing. So we'll play that in a moment, and to take us out of the show, thank you so much for coming in this evening.
Thank you very much for having me. I loved every minute of it, and I can't believe it's gone so quick.
It does go quick, and thank you to everybody that's also messaged in, either via the email system or via the text messages.
Thank you.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Good luck with your gig at the Fleece.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
You have to keep us in contact and let us know when your next album comes out. We can come back in the studio.
Yes, happily.
Maybe get you to play acoustically.
Oh, there's a few songs I reckon that could work. So anything, I will happily plug that way. And again, thank you very much for having me on. I think I got in touch maybe back in January. So to be able to do this, and I love to come back on again. It's been great. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Right, all you got to do is just contact me. But thank you so much. Have a good evening, everybody. Oh, hang on, we've just had a quick message before we go. This is from James Pritchard. Hello, James. It was an honour to have you play a song that means the world to us from your #1 fan. So I take it this song's for you.
Yeah, that is them. Thank you very much.
That is brilliant. Well, here it is. This is 2507.
days over the years, but it's worth it. He's no angel and she's far from a saint, but the love you have for each other is just pure fate. From Chippenham to Paris and to Barcelona too, from the Lynham Kebab House, they're just memories for you. 2507, what a day to remember. Let's get drunk and rewind and toast this night together. James and Charlie, your love shines so bright like the stars. I hope you both know just how lucky you are. What started out as a lift, oh thanks to me, has turned into a lifetime of treasure so